Hi, and welcome back to the Secret of the Game course. This is lesson 80. This is the in-rotation phase or post-sex game. So we've already free association opened, free association flirting. We were able to get interest. There's a polarity spark that's there. The attraction meter is high. Your mate selection mechanism is flipped on. We pull her back to our place. We initiate the early kiss. We initiate by sitting her down, and then we initiate oral. From there, we please her as well, and next thing you know, you wake up next to each other, and a girl is now in your rotation, okay? So, what do you do post-sex? The answer is you should do exactly what you were doing before sex when you were doing the best possible flirt, riffing on your inside jokes. You should go right back to free association, opening, and flirtation, and continue to do that, but also give her room. Know when to exit, know when to leave, know when your presence is better removed to then increase that missing you, and then it's going to transition to text game from there. And so you're playfully inside jokes, you're texting, you're being flirtatious, and then you're also handling logistics for the next time you meet up. So the whole idea is, when you're physical with her and in the same night sexting, it's like listen, hey, I'm having fun. I'm not necessarily, this is not, or how do you say this? I don't want this to just be a one-night stand. I do 10-night stands. Or I don't do one-night stands. I do 10-night stands. So the idea there is you're building this paradigm that, hey, we're going to keep it when we're together, we're fully together, and when we're not. But at the same time, we're going to be seeing each other again physically. And so that's when you handle your logistics. She's now in your rotation. And the goal is establishing a 10-night stand, as I just talked about. The aim to transition from a one-night stand mentality to a sustained rotation of interactions. And that's the status intelligent thing to do. It's just, you get to build a polarity dynamic with a fun, playful girl, and it's going to be fun even if it's just transactional. So, once again, we're calibrating for different cultural differences, Eastern with fantasy girl architecture, or Western, which is more transactional hookups. And that's going to be key there. So, pickup involves opening, attracting, escalating, and handling logistics for the same night lay and day two sex. And then from there, we're talking about the actual interaction building, of building a polarity dynamic. And that's the actual work of building that interaction. Okay, so that's what you need to focus on. Well, that's love life architecture at its core. That is the relationship, is that polarity dynamic. And so sex is the important, it defines the beginning of an interaction or relationship, allowing for growth of love and intimacy for Eastern dating, and then obviously just the interaction for Western dating. And then the minimum is oral sex in terms of ideally penetration sex are recommended to foster greater intimacy and connection. But, you can obviously just have oral on the first same night sex and then set up, a future time to connect. Her falling in love experience, if she falls in love as you continue to maintain high status intelligence and lead through physicality over and over again, she will eventually begin, starting to see you in more of a in love type light, which is a really good thing. She'll begin to chase you and obviously, volunteer her exclusivity to you, and you can decide, hey, is this a girl that I want to be exclusive with? Do I want to have her just as a primary in my rotation, etc. And so one thing I will say is relationships, especially with beta females in the East, reduce search costs associated with pursuing sex. And that's one of the advantages of having a long-term relationship with an Eastern girl. So that's something that's going to be relevant for you as you think through search costs, especially for guys that may not be the top 1%. Always a factor to factor into the equation. And then game continues in relationships and interactions. Really, you do all this work for pickup, and then you have the same night sex or you have the day two sex, and it doesn't end there. That's just the beginning. Your next task is to establish a polarity dynamic where that social, that flirtatiousness, and that sexuality are just ever present in the interaction with that girl over and over again into perpetuity forever. And you set up that, permanent arbitrage state with, in that situation where you both earn each other, continuously through time. And that's the perfect interaction that happens. And that's what's, the status intelligent male is ultimately trying to do with his love life. So achieving success, we talk about sex becoming ubiquitous, a shift in priorities towards personal fulfillment and growth, achieving your mission in life of arbitrage outside of any girl, inviting her along for the ride. It's fun stuff, guys. This is really juicy drama. This is life. This is the joy. These are the magical moments you're gonna remember for the rest of your fucking life. So you better master this shit now, and it's not shit. You better master this stuff now. Love life architecture is a real thing. It's going to be the juice, the joy. You wake up and you're excited, and also the career stuff too. So we'll talk about that stuff later on. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. Stay tuned.